focus that we've had. Very many regulations or rules, very many conditions which applied for the MSMEs in doing business since the Atmanirbhar announcements of 2020 have been clearly addressing each one of these concerns to reduce the compliance burden, to be defined better, enhance definition, and also coverage for credit from banks. Also the ease of doing business from the point of view of keeping records, maintaining records, and so on. So MSMEs have definitely been the center of our developmental goals, and also making sure that MSMEs did get that good immunity, did get that coverage during the COVID period so that they don't go into liquidation. And in this budget as well, for any failure to attend to services or goods as per contracts signed with the government, if there has been a failure in completing the service as is agreed in the contract, MSMEs have been given almost 95% waiver in that their guarantees will not be included or invoked. And that would give them a relief even if they had failed to fulfill the contract as signed with, let us say, the government or government agencies in the union government's case. So only 5% would be retained, and the rest 95% of the securities which they've given will all be released. Other than that, I think a major problem which the MSMEs face is delayed payments from people, whether it's government or the private sector companies, for services rendered, for goods supplied. Normal period is about 45 days, then it was tolerated, saying 90 days, if within that 90 days you're able to do it, it's fine. But in spite of declaring the dues, the servicing of MSMEs or due payments which have to reach the MSMEs were not being done in time. So after several nudging of those private sector companies and also the government departments more than nudging happened, and therefore they did clear majority of the dues. But the private sector which are listed, who even put it to the MCA records that they have dues for the MSMEs, were not even clearing it up. So there was this one little step which has been taken, wherein a company which doesn't clear the bill for the MSME, in that year it cannot also claim offsets for those payments made. That I think would work as an effective way to tell the companies that you can't claim any offset just because you have put it in your record, but when you have not paid them, you're not even eligible for it any longer. So I think this step would actually mean a big difference for the MSMEs. So where they were very scared to even voice the delay and demand payments, government has come that much forward to make sure, even by regulation, we are telling the large companies, inclusive of government companies, to keep the payment well within the due time. If capital expenditure, inclusion, focus on particular tribes or segments which have not been reached, we are also looking at geographical coverages, wherein all of you are aware that 114 districts had been covered through the aspirational districts. The aspirational districts were not a separate program, but it was a separately monitored attempt to make sure that all the existing schemes reach those backward regions, backward districts in any state for that matter, even if it is a developed state. Now, going further down below the district level, 500 blocks have been identified where saturation will be attempted at the block level. So the entire attempt is, since 2014, Prime Minister Modi has been focusing on including all citizens of this country through one or the other program so that they also come at par on basic amenities and fundamental infrastructure that they should have. Now, since 14, if we are doing this, and even now if there are pockets within this country which doesn't have that kind of a comfort of having had the fundamental infrastructure reaching them, this 500 blocks that has been selected, through that when monitoring happens, if hospitals have come there, wellness centers have reached, roads are there, electricity is reaching them, is the internet facility reaching them. So by each one of these measures, when you're aiming to reach every citizen, from the top down, you're going down to the last layers of administration, we can ensure that actual inclusion takes place. So that is the emphasis given in this budget through the blocks. Since the last budget, again on education, you've seen a good considerable allotment being made. More than 1 lakh crores have been given for education from the center, while education is a center plus state subject. So each state would do their own, plus the center itself has given this 1 lakh crore. And this year, that has gone up as well.